Oh, that was a Samus main.
Yes,
for sure.
He has told me I play Fox now because Samus sucks. So,
oh, interesting.
You know, I don't totally disagree with him is the problem, you know? Like, I don't have a lot of faith in Samus as a character. I'm not sure how you feel about that, but oh, interesting, Marth. So this is going to be a pretty different matchup. Not surprised to see forrestdweller stick with the Samus rather than going Fox. Probably more comfortable. This is kind of a tricky matchup for Marth players, you know?
They don't know it, especially. Like, I definitely did a lot better against his Fox than his Marth, or sorry, than his Samus in our matches, so...
And you know, as a Marth player yourself, at least nowadays, what exactly is kind of Marth looking for in the neutral, generally speaking?
Yeah, to be honest, I don't know this matchup that well, but I think the main thing is that, like, you know, as Marth, you're not going to get the big, juicy throw combos on Samus, right? Like, I think how this matchup ends up being played a lot is that, like, Marth needs to play the spacing game and play really, really patient, because you're not going to get big, bursty combos the way that you would against a lot of other characters. That said, sometimes as Marth, you can get, like, you know, the real... Oh my god, Jess! Hold on. I mean, maybe you just get some hits and get some edge guards, but yeah, I mean, normally it's the spacing game, but
charge up smash.
Killing it, yeah, charge up smash.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of those classic examples of, like, a matchup that can be kind of hard to play if you're a Marth player, and you need to be playing really intelligent, but on paper, it feels like Marth wins. You know, like, if he just does all the right things all the time. Wow, that was a beautiful sequence there of movement. But yeah, he can kind of have a big advantage, but, you know, it's so easy to make mistakes. We're all human, and then that's where Samus can kind of really mess with you.
Right. I mean, it's obviously really tough for Samus, because by default, Samus needs to play that playstyle in really every single matchup. It's just, this is one of the few where Marth is kind of forced to do that. And as we say that, wow, an actual true trade of stocks. Not something you see too often. Yeah, and I was going to say, one of my favorite tools against Samus is just auto-cancel Nair. What's nice about the Nair, again, it hits twice, it has great range, it's pretty safe, you can just kind of spam it. And, like, Samus is a tall character, so it's, like, it's pretty easy to kind of get both hits to hit if you're up close, and then if you don't hit, then you're not really in much risk. So I imagine we're going to see a lot of that from Jess as well.
Yeah, that would not surprise me either. It is one of the kind of safest kind of auto-cancel moves in the game, I would say. Just the amount of range you have off of it, and, you know, Marth's kind of neutral tools beyond that makes it very, very difficult to punish. Beautiful factor, though, from forrestdweller. I think another thing I'm curious to see, and it hasn't really played too much yet so far on Jess's end, is how they handle kind of Samus projectiles, particularly missiles, but also the charge shot, obviously, which is in play right now, and we're just about to see that beautiful out-of-shield sequence.
Ooh. Yeah, I think with Marth is one of the best equipped to handle Samus's projectiles, because with missiles you can just, like, aerial through them, and also Marth has a good dash back power shield on missiles. It's pretty free, honestly, but the charge shot a little bit harder to deal with. But again, Marth usually pretty good at it.
Really like that down tilt from Jess. That is a great point, and actually an interesting thing about both Samus and Marth is we often hear a lot about the kind of bug shield that Marth has, where his shield kind of bubble doesn't really follow him when he's crouching or even when he's dashing. And that allows him to get power shields very easily. What we don't hear a lot is that Samus has the exact same problem. Or, like, you know, bug, feature, whatever you want to call it. And yeah, so they both are pretty well equipped to deal with power shields, and it's something we don't see as much from Samus players, but if you guys have ever watched, like, Duck play, for example, he'll hit, like, every single power shield, and you think, like, how is this possible? Well, he has a bit of a frame advantage because of the character.
Oh, so, you know, I didn't know that Samus had the same thing. So, is that, does Samus have, like, an easier time power shielding Falcon?
She does, and if you watch her crouch, it's the same exact thing that Marth has, where, like, she will crouch and her shield will be above her as if she's not crouching. And I imagine there's a thing with the dash back as well. She doesn't kind of dash in the same way. Obviously, she does play dash, use dash dancing, but, you know, more of a wave dash character.
Right.
But yeah, it just doesn't get talked about as much. I did some research for an out-of-shield video that I made, and learned that. So that's why if you see a Samus player have amazing power shields, you can give them, like, a little bit of less praise, I guess, because it is a bit easier when you, like, I know with Marth, I'm pretty sure it is 5-frame window in some cases with the dash back, just because of that bug shield compared to a 2-frame window.
Right, it's a lot longer for sure. Wow, okay, jabbing the missile, I like that option right there. And, oh, kind of rough DI from forrestdweller there. If Jess got the tipper, that would have been death, so kind of lucky on his part. Yeah, oh, probably meant to up air there. Samus is very heavy, so probably got the jump cancel instead, and... Oh!
Just barely missing the sweet spot. That was such a close game. Like, again, like I said, not super familiar with Jess as a player, but these two could not be more evenly matched, it feels.
Yeah, I mean, from that particular match, for sure, and it kind of seemed like, you know, it felt like Jess had the momentum from the beginning. Like, I don't remember exactly how much, like, how many stocks they took, but it just felt like a big combo into, like, a couple big hits and edge guard and stuff, and, yeah, I mean, forrestdweller kind of taking that back, so as the Marth player, that definitely doesn't feel good, because when you get a big advantage in such a grindy matchup and then you lose it over time, like, that's just really hard to deal with, so I'm curious how Jess handles game 2 going forward.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think, honestly, I liked a lot of what I saw. I feel like the way they're approaching it made a lot of sense. Not super surprised to see, it was just the first game, or no?
No, it's forrestdweller.
Forrestdweller, right. Okay, so not surprised to see this counter pick from Marth, just because it'll be able to kind of get kills a little bit easily. It'll sort of negate that natural advantage that Samus has. But so far, so good on Jess's end.
Yeah, I mean, getting quite a bit of a damage lead, like 4-1. That's quite good, especially on Yoshi's story. Yeah, I was gonna say you get a raw forward smash or something like that up till you just get the kill, and now effectively forrestdweller hasn't really done damage to Jess, right? And like as Samus, you don't really get quick kills, so it's like there's a lot of work that forrestdweller has to make.
Yeah, and he is putting that work in now, doing those wave dash forward tilts, kind of a staple in pretty much every matchup that Samus has. I think one of the things that defines Samus as a character is just how grounded she plays. But Marth kind of like, just because he's better, he has the ground game, he has the aerial game, like he's just a bit kind of more flexible. So it's cool to see Jess leveraging some of those advantages to make forrestdweller's life very difficult.
Yeah, on top of all of those things, Marth has a grab, and Samus just, you know, doesn't really have a grab. Like, her grab is just not that reliable. It's pretty slow. It's really conditional. It's pretty risky. So, oh, but she does have missiles.
She does have missiles. This is one of those things that, like, you say it out loud and it sounds like borderline dumb. Like, on top of that, Marth has a grab in melee, and it's like, but actually, you know, like, Samus doesn't have a grab, really. Like, you can't use it reliably. It's super, super slow. It's insanely punishing if you do it. You know, you can't hit people in the air, if I recall correctly, so you just don't have much going for you compared to Marth's ability and, you know, one of the best grabs in the game, if not the best grab in the game. So, yeah, it's like night and day.
Fortunate for Samus, the throw is not that big of a deal in this matchup. You don't really get a combo off of it, so I suppose that balances out a little bit, but yeah, I mean, this is not looking so good for forrestdweller. Jess just doing a great job, kind of. I mean, really with everything in this matchup so far, just getting the big hits, forcing forrestdweller off stage, kind of ledge trapping him, and oh, even going for the edge guard there too. I respect it.
I do wonder if we're going to see forrestdweller stick with Samus the whole way through. Obviously, a character that they're comfortable with, confident in, but you know, for all the kind of memes and stuff about the Fox Marth matchup, I feel like Samus Marth isn't that much better, and this has been rough. Although, you know, he won the first game, so I don't even know. Like, it just, is it the stages, the adaptation, is a bit of both? This is looking really rough for forrestdweller.
I definitely feel like the stage plays a part. I mean, I played forrestdweller's Fox as well, and I think he would probably do better as Samus. It's my guess, honestly. Even if this game doesn't really work out that well, this is like a really, really hard counter pick. But you know, Samus can live for a really long time, even at the 150 range. And so, yeah, we've seen Samus's kind of claw back even at this sort of a deficit, just because of the survivability. So, yeah, not even gonna dive there. I think Jess still needs like a pretty strong hit to make this happen.
Yeah, I actually not surprised to see the grab thrown out. Up throw is gonna kill.
Oh, yeah?
Nice.
Okay.
Good awareness there. I was thinking, like, at this percent, even if you don't get it, you just get such a positional advantage anyway. You can kind of shark them down with the up air from below, and if it does kill, well, you're that much happier.
Yeah, it turns out Marth has a grab. Who knew? Oh, is this? Oh, okay, nice counterattack. That's right there. Okay, here's the big combo. Yeah, when you get the tipper forward air against Samus at like 40, 30, 50 range or whatever. That's actually pretty huge. It doesn't happen that much, but when you get it, it feels so good.
Yeah, absolutely. But I just really like the way that Jess has been playing this. The nairs, the way that they have been punishing, all of it has just been very, very solid and good counterpick. But I think we're going to see Dreamland here, right? Like, that's got to be one of the better counterpicks for Samus, especially if you're wanting to make securing kills much, much more difficult.
The survivability, yeah, on Dreamland is just so good for Samus in particular. And Samus is gonna, a lot of the times, just edgeguard Marth, but Marth doesn't really have that, that factor the same way. So, yeah, I mean, this is a very, very classic counterpick for this matchup. But Jess getting the early lead again. Let's see if they get the kill, and they do. No tech from forrestdweller. That's quite a deficit, and you don't want that on a game 3, right?
Yeah, I think one of the things we haven't really spoken about, but you kind of feel it while watching, is that in these kind of matchups, like, a stock lead is big. Like, you really feel like, wow, I have to do this whole uphill battle. Marth's only at 38, and I'm already at 76, and I'm down a full stock. Like, there's something kind of mental that kind of chips away at you, and even gets the charge before it's smashed. That's that grab that we don't love of Samus's.
Yeah,
it's a good sequence though.
Yeah, the pressure is just—it's really high on forrestdweller right now, and I don't feel like I notice a significant change in his playstyle, right? Like, he doesn't seem like he's reaching too hard and still playing pretty clean, so I think that's good. But wait a minute, hold on. Is that okay? Has the jump?
Was that for an extender or something, or just an accident? Hard to say kind of what that was supposed to be, but that one opening really kind of could have been the momentum shift for the set, but I don't know. It's rough.
Yeah, I mean, even though they forrestdweller messed up the grab, I don't even know what would have been the path to taking Marth's stock in that situation. So
absolutely, yeah. This is, I feel like Jess is playing the matchup the way you want to be playing the matchup. Like, it's just doing. This is kind of where, in a past experience, forrestdweller would go onto the Smash Ladder chat and say, "Man, Samus sucks." For these specific moments, because I really aggressively would camp them and just kind of try to play neutral carefully, and that, it feels like, is what Jess is doing.
I mean, that's effectively what got Fluff off of Samus, and I think Bugle feels the same way. There is a trend of that. Like, at some point, if you play safely and if you only really engage where you have, oh my god, forrestdweller. Okay. That felt kind of
Oh, the TI though.
Wow, that downer almost worked too. Yeah. Okay, yeah, not a very happy game 3 for forrestdweller. I think this is pretty much going to be it. Missing the hard hit of the down air, but I don't think it really matters right now. Yeah.
Yeah, this is certainly over. So now it becomes, do you bring Marth back here, or all these option techs are just not going to be enough to turn this around? Or, I mean, if we see a comeback here, it'll be one of the most impressive comebacks I've ever seen.
Right, and it would be a big confidence boost for forrestdweller, but yeah, that up B is going to steal it. Not much you can really do there to crouching Marth other than maybe down smash, and down smash is very risky here, so weak hit into, I guess, dash up B, I think it was, cleaning up the stock and the game for Jess. Really, really solid stuff, as we've been saying. Game 4, are we going back? Are we seeing a character change? What's going to happen? Okay, yeah, FD, I think this is good, right?
I like it, yeah. I don't know. I don't think FD is traditionally a very good stage for Samus, but maybe you can kind of leverage lack of platforms. I don't know. It's tricky.
Yeah, now I'm looking at this and it's like, okay, well, if Samus gets hit up at all, then you're screwed. And Jess, an avid pivot user, I love it. You've got the pivot down tilt, it's got the pivot for positioning. Really, really cool stuff, and that's just one extra thing that forrestdweller has to kind of process and just be annoyed at, honestly. Which, you know, could probably really help because it looks like forrestdweller is just not having a good time overall.
I definitely, after playing Zoo for about an hour, I know how frustrating solid pivots can be, man. Like it is definitely a powerful option. And seeing it used by Marths more and more frequently is so effective, and it opens up opportunities that you just would not otherwise have, both in terms of the punish game, but also the neutral, like you're saying, just creating space in a very technical and precise way, and it just feels really fun to do. Like I don't know about you, but I love doing pivots with controllers. It just feels nice. If you have a controller that kind of does it correctly, I guess.
Right. And that is a requirement for sure. But I'm just starting to think that against Samus in particular, like Samus really likes to play kind of that Street Fighter-esque style where it's like she like very definitively stays in place or inches in like a wave dash distance. And the pivot is just like perfect for Marth to deal with that. Like you just kind of like pivot back and then you can do your down tilt or whatever, similar to wave dashing back. So, I mean, I can see this just feeling really annoying to deal with this forrestdweller. Finally taking out the stock with the 4 tilt, but, you know, still 63 damage, it's just not great.
Yeah, especially, like, you know, you can start to have little openings that'll leverage the positional advantage that Jess already has. Already we're seeing, you know, just how positional floating matchups are in general. You've got forrestdweller in the corner. How does he get out? Marth's not letting him get out. No matter what, basically, and it takes him all the way down from the stock, and now he's down a whole, like I said, a whole floaty stock, which is so much more than other matchups.
Right. Yeah, man, Samus being down is just, I mean, you can do it, but you need to make a lot of good reads, right? Like, and those reads oftentimes maybe aren't as like risky because Samus doesn't get comboed as hard, but it's like, to make your way in and to actually get a clean hit, especially against Marth, it's like you have to have something really solid.
Absolutely,
it's not free.
It's just very rough. Like I think bringing up the pivots too is such a good example because like it's just a great example of like how Marth can kind of do a lot of things better. You know, like Samus, super grounded character. I already kind of repeating myself a little bit here, but like Marth just having such amazing grounded options too, and then by kind of pushing the character further with things like pivots, it just makes it a bit more of an uphill battle for forrestdweller. Even dropping an air spare too. Right.
Yeah, I mean you can kind of feel the momentum of like this match and this set in particular. It's just, I don't know. I can kind of feel just like almost like forrestdweller's will kind of like dwindling away.
Yeah.
But, okay. Well, if you want a shot at this match, that's definitely what you needed. 192. This is really, I was gonna say if Jess gets an up throw, it's over. So.
It'll kill. Yeah. 200 is kind of like a rough number for a lot of characters that Marth has. We were talking about this, Vish and I, when we were doing commentary, about the kind of idea of like visualizing a win and kind of like really kind of believing in yourself, like thinking I can do this. And I feel like that honestly might be a bit of what could be missing from forrestdweller. Beautiful tech though. I love that he's going for those openings, but it isn't enough. Ultimately, Jess, they take it over forrestdweller.